Hey, data flow fans, let's talk about working with complex data types today in data flows. So the techniques I'm going to show you will work both in Azure Data Factory and Azure Synapse Analytics. And when I talk about complex data types, I mean that you're processing data coming from files in the lake or from databases that support structures like hierarchical structures. So you can be working with complex data types like structs, like arrays. There could be maps, all the sort of things that go beyond the relational database table or a text delimited file and more into the complex data structures that you're likely to find in data lake environments. All right, so enough talk. Let's get started and look at some demonstrations. So on my screen, I have a very, very simple pipeline on my design surface. This pipeline has two data flows in it. The first one, we're going to make some files that have complex data types, and we're going to process those complex data types. So the way we're going to make the complex type first, let's double click on that, data flow, is we're going to take relational data coming from Azure SQL Database, and this is going to be the products table from the AdventureWorks sample data. Now this is relational, so we're going to go from relational to hierarchical. At the end, I'm going to land that data as a Parquet file in the lake. And that's Parquet file is going to have some complex structures to it. Now, the way we do that is let's start here with look at the data preview. This is the preview for the source data of the SQL products in the Azure SQL database. This is just rows and columns. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my select transformation. It doesn't really do very much. It just prunes columns that I don't want to work with. I'm taking out some of the extraneous things. I'm just keeping the columns that are important for this demo. All right, the next thing is the important one. This is where I'm going to make 3 new columns, and I'm going to make those as complex types. I'm going to make the first one, let me actually open up my expression builder, it'll be easier to show you. The first one is going to be a hierarchical structure. The next one is going to be a map data type, and then we're going to make a string array of strings. So the first one I'm going to create just by saying a new column, and I'm going to call it product. And then under underneath that product, I'm going to make a new property for a name and color. I'm going to do that by saying new subcolumn. So you'll see here that I'm setting the name to the incoming name column from the product table, and I'm setting color to the incoming color column. So name and color are properties of my product structure. Now you can use the expression language here to perform transformation functions on your data. So you can do anything that you would typically do here. You could split it if you wanted to. You could replace characters in it, all that. I'm just going to keep it just so that we are just using the original column name and just mapping it into a hierarchical structure. This is really mapping, this is transforming into hierarchy, going from relational to hierarchical. Another interesting one might be upper or lower, those sorts of things, but I think you get the idea. The next one we're going to make is we're going to make a margin column. So I'm going to try to generate a column that can be used later in my processing data flow that can understand the cost and the price to make, the price, essentially the cost of goods sold for the different products at AdventureWorks in the products table. So I called my new structure, which is a map type margin. You can see with the icon, this is a map data type. So the map is going to be key values. And what I'm going to be able to do is later on, I'm going to be able to look up the value for the cost and the price. So this single map has a cost and a price key in it, and the values are standard cost coming from the standard cost incoming column and list price from the incoming list price column. Again, I can do transformations on this data. If the standard cost is actually needed to be twice what it is, I could just say times 2. I can perform math on that as well. All right, now the last one we're going to do is called a Deconstructed Name. I'm going to take the incoming name of the product. I'm going to split it by words. I'm going to essentially just split by space. Very simple example here just to show you how you would generate an array. The output from the split function is an array. Okay, so it's going to give me an array. So I just split by space. They'll get a different array index for each value that is a word within the name of the product. There we go, good enough. At the end, we just sync it into Parquet. I'm going to call the file moviemap1.parquet, and the mapping will just be auto mapping because I want all those columns to come in. And that's it. So let's go back to that complex pipeline that had both the data flows in it. So I ran this earlier and creating the file. So going from relational to hierarchical and then storing it as a file took about 50 seconds. And the next thing we're going to do is, sorry, it took 52 seconds at the bottom. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into process those complex data types. Let's go into the complex data types data flow next. So the source is that file that I wrote from the previous data flow, which I'm pointing to here as a map parquet, and it's going to movie map 1. All right, now let's go ahead and let's calculate that margin. So remember I created the map, called it margin, and that had the price and cost in it. So now what I can do is I can have a formula that rounds to two decimal places, the price minus the cost. And I'm just doing that by accessing the map and looking for the specific key within that I want to use. So I'm looking for the key of price and the key of cost. And then what that'll give me, I can do a data preview on this. I'll show you. This is going to give you the margin calculation for each row with that data. And so so there you see my very simple, super simple margin calculation coming from the map. Now the next thing we're going to do, there's actually a couple of things that I do here, by the way. I'm storing the results of this calculation as an aggregate and then putting it into a cache sync so it's available for a cache lookup later. But what I'm doing with the aggregate here is just saying, give me the average margin for all the products across the products. And so to do that, I'm just taking the average as an aggregate of that margin and then making sure it's rounded and it's formatted nicely. Like you'll see here in the later on when I use it, actually I believe it's down here. There we go. I'm going to use the dollar, a couple of a comma separator in there so that the decimal is displayed like currency. Now the other formula I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new column called short name, and that's going to take the array. So I'm going to take the first element from the array, and I'm going to add to it a space and then the product color. So I'm going to come up with a shortened name for the products by using that array that we created earlier, and I'm going to put that all into Delta Lake. So I'm using a Delta Lake sync here because it is able to store and read data that is of those complex types. So I can use the map, the array, and the hierarchical structure all within my Delta Lake. So the mapping just says automap, and everything will come into that Delta Lake set of tables. And we'll refresh and we'll see the data now sitting in Delta Lake. And there it is. So now we've gone from relational to hierarchical and we stored it in Lake using Delta Lake. And before we go, there's one other thing that's very important for this to work that I want to point out. So on the source that I read from the data that I wrote in that first data flow, it's very important for you to know that you are using a data set. The data sets, this map parquet data set I showed earlier, is pointing to that file that is written to and reading from there. Now the data set facility within Data Factory and Azure Synapse Analytics is a shared concept. The data set is an artifact that stores information about the shape of the data that you're referencing. So I called this data set map parquet. And it's going to be everything that's in that movie map parquet file. But notice I do not include a schema. The reason why I'm not including a schema is because some facilities in pipelines, for example, which are .NET based, are not able to process data that is stored in those complex data types. So you don't want to import the schema, just leave the schema completely empty, and then you'll be good to go. Because when you're inside of your data flow, what you will do is on the source, you'll use the projection. So you'll click on import projection, and then you'll be able to get the array, the map, and the complex data types. But you don't want to import the schema from the data set because the data set is not able to read that. So you want to work in data flows, you'll be good to go. Now, one last thing I want to show you then is on the inspect of your data flows, you will see the complex types coming in. There is the array, there's the map, and there's that structure, the hierarchical structure that's shown as complex. It has the product with the name and the color. So there you go. There's how you can work with complex data types in data flows. Thanks for watching.